Welcome, everyone, to the Trisbrina Show, where today we're diving into age-defying superpower stories. And this episode celebrates the incredible feats and extraordinary strength that lies within each of us, regardless of our age.
That's right. In moments of extreme stress or danger, ordinary people can achieve the extraordinary. From lifting cars to scaling mountains, these true stories that we're going to share with you today showcase the power and potential that lies within all of us.
And we hope these awe-inspiring tales of courage and determination not only entertain you, but also remind you of the strength you possess and inspire you to tap into your own hidden superpowers.
That's right, because no matter what your age, the potential for greatness lies within. So let's unlock that power together.
But first, we're going to tell you a few stories, and these are true stories about individuals who tapped into their amazing superpower, super strength, super chi. Some during moments of intense danger, some maybe stepping forward as a protector, and some through determination and drive. And then we're going to ponder how each of us can tap into that superpower that they tapped into that's lying dormant within us, not just during a crisis, not just as a protector, and not just through drive and determination. If that power exists within us, how can we tap into it? But these stories are so amazing.
Now, if you're here live, we'd love for, or even catching the replay and you're on YouTube, please click that like or subscribe button so that you get notified every time that we bring a Trisbrina Show or one of our workshops to you.
And if you're on Facebook,
do the same thing.
Say follow our page.
Yeah. All right, so we've got some stories here, and we're going to kind of go through them.
I'll start.
Okay.
Okay, so the first story is in 1982, Angela Cavello lifted a 1964 Chevrolet Impala off her son.
What?
Yes. Her son was trapped underneath the car, and as it fell off the jack. So it was up and it fell off the jacks, and she held the car up long enough for the neighbors to pull her son to safety. Now, when I was researching this superpower and these things that happen and the stories about humans being able to lift a car, I couldn't believe how many there are.
There's a lot.
There are so many stories. So the car was up on the jack, fell on her son. She went over and lifted an Impala long enough for people to come and pull him out. So what was happening in that moment? What was she tapping into? Do you think when she got up that morning, she was like, I'm strong enough to lift a car? I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think so.
Well, I bet we all can relate in some way or another where there's been a crisis or a situation and your adrenaline got pumping and you did something pretty miraculous, or in your world, like, I don't know how I did that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I have some personal stories that we can share later.
Well,
but
stick to the script.
Stick to the script. But seriously, if you think about it, that's not an everyday thing, but there is a capacity in the human being, in the body, for us to tap into this power.
Yeah.
But we need something to unlock it.
Yeah. Let's read the second story.
Well, let's do it. Would you like me to share?
Yeah.
All right. So this story is breaking bricks with chi. And you guys have probably seen some of these videos on YouTube where the person can focus, like they'll have all these bricks, and sometimes they'll put one brick at the bottom. I should find a video showing this. And they can strike with intention, and the chi goes through and it breaks just the brick on the bottom.
Oh, just the brick on the bottom?
Just the brick on the bottom. So this one's about Sifu Anthony Carajas, I believe is how you pronounce his name. There you go. He successfully broke the bottom brick in a stack of bricks, which is considered really challenging. I mean, you have to be able to channel your chi. He attributes it to his chi, so he was studying chi and qigong, which not only connected his palm more deeply to his body, because when you do this type of work, you move from your power center and you're able to direct and channel the life force through your hand, through his palm. And he struck the brick, and it says that the body was able to protect and harden his hand through his training, but he was able to send the chi all the way through and break the bottom brick.
So he was using the power of chi and the power of focus, and I bet some consistency in his training. All right, the next story, I really love this one. The world's oldest yoga teacher, and at the age of, hang on a second, he just covered it up. At the age of 93 in 2012, she broke the Guinness Book of World Records, Tao Lynch, and she continued to practice and teach yoga until she died at 101 years old. She also pursued ballroom dancing and competed in dance competition well into her 90s. So 93 broke the world records for the oldest yoga teacher, but continued to teach yoga until she was 101.
I have a picture of her.
Oh my
Look
gosh.
at her.
I don't know how clearly you guys can see, but she's lifting her body up off the mat.
On her fingers.
You see her booty's not touching the floor, her knees are not touching the floor. She's using, what kind of strength is that? And look at how little she is.
She's tiny.
Right? Big muscles they can be strong, but small muscles like me, Minnie Mouse, can also be strong. She knew how to focus the energy. She knew how to tap into that superpower. She is so cute.
So cute. You want to take the next one? I will try to find us some media.
Okay. So I want me to skip the next one? Because that's one that you wanted to do.
I can do it.
Okay.
All right. So this one, actually, if you can read it,
Okay.
I'm going to find something to
Okay,
show
the
you
next
guys about
one is
it.
called Withstanding Force Through Qigong. In a demonstration recorded by National Geographic, a Qigong practitioner was able to withstand a strike of over 700 pounds of force by using Qigong techniques. And this showcases the ability of Qigong to fortify the body against significant impacts, proving the substantial protective power of Qi. So National Geographic featured Shi Yangming, who was able to endure a strike with over 700 pounds of force.
There's one defense that's so mysterious.
All right. So I'm going to pull it up for you guys so you can
Then
see.
Facebook will not let us have it.
I think it's okay. So it should be okay because I'm not playing the audio. It should be okay. So we're going to see if we can show you, not all of it.
It won't if it's long.
It won't play?
20
Okay, we
20
can't show it
seconds.
for you guys. But anyway, there's a video and we'll post it in the description for after.
Yeah.
Or maybe I can post it in just a moment. And,
And-
you
and
guys
just-
can watch it on your own when you have time.
So think about that. The chi power that's dormant inside of us, that they can take a strike of 700 pounds and be able to put up an energetic
You guys can
field.
watch that later. I put it in the chat for you.
Okay.
And he's getting struck by a baseball bat. I'm going to just show you.
And for those of you who aren't
photo.
attending live right now and can't see the chat, you could just Google National Geographic Qigong 700 pounds of force and you'll find it.
But hold
Okay,
on. Hold your horses, lady. There you go. I just want you to see he's about to strike him. So National Geographic documented this. This is a full-on swing with you can't probably see it right there, but that's a baseball bat. And he's striking him across the torso.
And again,
And they
look,
have measurements on the bat. And when it struck him, it was
700 pounds
700 pounds of pressure.
force.
And he, was like afterwards just a tiny little bit of redness on his skin.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And again, he's lean, he's small.
He's little.
You don't look at him and say, oh, he's got
Big,
all these
bulky.
layers of
No.
muscles. It's something else.
It's the chi.
Okay, I'm going to talk about another one of the cars that got lifted. This is Tim Boyle, and he lifted a Jeep Cherokee. I used to have a Jeep Cherokee off of a 6-year-old girl who was trapped underneath after the car accidentally rolled onto her.
Wow.
And his quick action and incredible strength saved the 6-year-old's life. Again, when I hear those stories, I think if anybody say, hey, I dare you to go lift that Jeep, we'd laugh, right? But in that moment, it
Yes.
was like, this must be done.
It's like emergency energy. I remember when I was about 15. Emergency chi. I was going with a friend on a boat early in the morning. The boat was called a Zodiac. It's one of those, the diver boats. They're gray. You may have seen them. They're in Jacques Cousteau videos. Anyway, he was going to take us to go fishing. So it was me, I think his name was Jody, and then our friend Chris. And we were pulling the boat. So we lived in Malibu, and the waves weren't too big. And so we were pulling, this was early in the morning, and we were going fishing with our fishing poles. We were pulling the boat out, and then this big set started coming. So a bigger wave started coming. So he turned the engine on. You're not supposed to do that. And said, hold on to the ropes, because there were one of us was on the boat's shaped like that. I was on this side, my friend was on this side, and then he was driving. And he said, just hold on to the ropes and I'll pull you guys past the wave. And the wave got bigger and bigger, so he started going faster and faster, and I was holding on as tight as I could, and the other guy over there let go. And because he let go, my weight pulled the boat in my direction. And I was holding on for dear life, and we smashed up against the wave. The boat kind of took a jump, and it ripped the rope out of my hands. I couldn't hold on to it. And I remember falling and going like this. And the propeller ran through my arm. I have like this big freaking, you got a big scar right here. It ran through me. It could have been my head. And it was this big gash.
Okay,
there was a lot.
then what happened?
There was a lot of blood.
Let's fast forward.
So the reason I bring it up is because it's pretty traumatic and scary. And his mom, fortunately, who had brought us in her nice Mercedes to the beach to watch us go out, was standing on the beach, and I came in holding my arm, and she freaked out. She's like, oh, what has happened? And she was so in a panic, and I have never been more focused and present in my life. I held my arm. I said, we're going to take me to the emergency room. I need to get in your car. You need to take me there now. Put a towel around my arm. I've never been so present. And something took over. And I didn't pass out.
There wasn't time for the BS.
I didn't shut down. I had all my cognitive capacity, and I'm telling this adult what to do. Now, when we got
you guys relate to this?
To the emergency room, which was in Malibu, it was closed. It was freaking closed. What? Malibu, back in the day. So we had to drive me in her car all the way to Santa Monica, which was another 20 miles. I'm holding my arm right now. I have such memory of this. And I just was focused and breathing. Now, I'd been doing martial arts, and I've been working on my breathing. And we were working on Zen focus. So something kicked in. So I bring that story up because it blew her mind, and it blew my capacity away. I was like, I have this power, this consciousness inside. So, shall we move on?
Yeah. Okay, the sixth story that we have is at the age of 80, Yuichiro, we're just going to say his name is Michio Miura, became the oldest person to reach the summit of Mount Everest in 2013 at the age of 80. And this was his third ascent of Everest. So he climbed it at 70, 75, and again at 80.
I've got a cool picture of him.
Oh, yay.
So this is
cute too.
Yuichiro.
You guys liking these stories?
There he is, climbing Mount Everest.
You see if you can find her picture.
How old is he?
80.
That's amazing. So how many people at 80 have tried something like that? Probably not too many.
Or how many people have we bought into the ideas that, oh, that's just silly to think about at 60.
Yeah, 60. He's doing it at 80. What do you guys think? Pretty cool, huh? All right.
Okay. Next story. This is also a great one. A German gymnast. And this German gymnast, I've actually seen videos of her. She's been competing in gymnastics
I love her.
Well into her 90s. Now, I've seen her doing the balance beam, the uneven bars, the parallel bars, and she holds the world record for the oldest active gymnast, and she has demonstrated her incredible skills and flexibility in various performances.
There she
So
is.
she's competing as a gymnast in her 90s. 90s.
She's all over YouTube, guys.
And
you can check her
what's
out.
incredible is, again, look at her size. This concept that strong is huge. You know, strong is big and buff and not flexible. Well, she's really strong, and look how small.
That's amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
So what is it that these people are tapping into? How are they accessing this energy, this life force?
Yeah.
Because that's what we're seeing here. That's what we're excited about. That's why we're showcasing all of this. That's what's going on.
Okay, we got 2 more stories for you. This next one is another Shaolin monk,
Okay.
and I'm assuming it's a he, but he has shown
Shi Dijan.
remarkable feats such as breaking metal bars over his head and bending spears with his throat. Well, my first question is, how do you know you can do that? Because I don't know if I can do it, because it's never occurred to me. Breaking metal bars over his head and bending spears with his throat. These acts are achieved, he says, through intense mental focus and Qigong training, allowing him to direct his qi to specific body parts to withstand or exert extraordinary force.
This is not him, but this is the type of training that they do. So they're able to send their energy, their chi.
So he's saying he's extending it and withstanding.
Yes. And then they send the chi into the tissue. And like, I'll show you another one. This fellow here, he's taking his chi and he's extending it through his throat, and they will go so far as to break this wood. They'll keep pushing until it snaps. So the question is, how does the body withstand? That is a very sharp spear. They show you in the beginning, they chop it into an apple and it goes right through the apple. So what is it in his brain and his body and his breath that's able to direct the life force right there, right into that spot, right here? And he's
to be impenetrable.
That's using your power. And it's the same thing when the people are able to lift up the car. They're channeling energy through their legs, their muscles, using their brain, because their brain gives them temporarily access to this capacity.
Yeah.
The question is, what if we could do this on a regular for ourselves?
More on that.
More on that.
So that reminded me, because this stuff kind of grosses me out a little bit. Like
spears
seeing
and
some of it,
stuff
like,
on
I'm
your
like,
body.
Why would you do that? But it's fascinating, and it proves some points to me. And I remember watching the movie What the Bleep 20 years ago, and there was a scene where a girl was bouncing a basketball on the floor. And they were talking about quantum physics, that there's actually an energy extending from everything, and that there's energy extending from the girl's hand to the ball. And if you could look at it from like the quantum field, her hand never actually touches the ball. It's the energy of her hand touches the energy of the ball that sends it to the floor. And then when it gets to the floor, does it actually touch the floor, or is it the energy that touches that brings it back up? Which, when I see these people doing these extraordinary things, I wonder if on an energetic level, if it's just the energy of the object and the energy he's emitting out. And that's why it doesn't penetrate.
These are pictures of Shaolin monks who practice Qigong doing incredible physical feats. So you can see the capacity of the human body. And he's just sitting in a one-leg horse stance. That's kind of
That'd be convenient if you ever broke a
crazy.
leg, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? But they're
Or if you had to
using...
share a stool.
You're funny. But they meditate, guys. They practice breath work. They learn with their mind how to draw the chi into different areas in the body. Without the mental part, none of these superhuman things are available. He's sending the chi into this area. This is a little vortex right here that he's drawing the chi in through his hands into his lower belly, into his lower dantian, that enables him to do things.
You know what I've
like
never
this.
noticed before? Look at those laces on those shoes. That's
up
the
their
same
legs.
way ballet dancers would lace the toe shoes.
Interesting. Anyway, this is pretty phenomenal physical capacity, but that should inspire you not to necessarily be a Shaolin monk, but to ask the question, what more is available to me that perhaps is dormant within my tissue, and here that I could access.
Yeah.
And what would that do for me in my life?
And do we have to wait for an extreme situation?
Yeah, like someone
No,
being trapped
no, we
under a
don't.
car.
We'll go ahead and tell you. No, we don't.
No, you
Okay, there's
don't.
only one more. This
We're
sounds
gonna
really
one more?
cool. A study published in the American Journal of Chinese Medicine documented a woman using her qi to accelerate the germination of seeds, indicating a measurable effect of qi energy on biological processes. This study supports the idea that qi can influence physical outcomes beyond mere physical strength. So I always want to say that one again because that is super cool. So she used her qi to accelerate germination of seeds, which indicates the effect of qi energy on biological processes. Well, there's a lot of biological processes going on in our body.
Right.
So if you think about that, that's what, beyond just being strong, how you can use that energy of qi almost like a magic fairy dust, right? As the energy that
Expedient.
makes worlds.
Yeah.
It is the cosmic energy. It is the like the divine energy. Like when we talk about everything is energy, that's the same thing as like everything is qi.
Right.
And qi is everything. So if we can get our mind aligned and for us move our bodies in certain ways and do certain things, how can we tap that? Well, so how can we start to cultivate and access our own superpower, our own qi power? And we have 4 suggestions.
Okay. Take it away.
The first one, I'll start and you can expand. How about
Okay.
that? Is just enhance your physical capacities. Work on building your strength. Work on your balance. Work on your coordination because when the body becomes more capable of handling physically demanding situations, potentially allowing for feats that are extraordinary. So wouldn't it be a good idea if you were thinking, how do I tap into that ability to lift a car? That's something you could do just to kind of do your part is like work on your balance, work on your coordination, stay strong, stay able. See that movement is a full body prayer, that you're doing your part to take care of this.
Well, another one is practicing that mind-body harmony. So we wrote a little something to share with you. Practices that cultivate focus and balance, that foster a deep connection between the mind and body. I've been talking about that when I was showing you the pictures of the monks. They're focusing their mind into these particular areas. They're doing it in their meditation practices so they can cultivate and then harness this universal energy and use it for good, or use it for strength, or use it for protection.
Yeah.
When you think of somebody being attacked, and let's say somebody big and scary, here, we'll do an experiment right now. Someone big and scary is right in front of you, and they look bigger and stronger than you. Maybe they're covered in weird looking tattoos and they stink like alcohol, and they're looking at you like they're going to hurt you.
And they seem like on some kind of drug, so you know they're not thinking straight.
If you can put yourself in that scenario for a moment, you probably can feel in your body like, whoa, what would I do? That would be very scary. Would I fight? Would I run? Would I shut down? But if I told you that your little daughter or your mom or your friend or your son was standing behind you, and that person was trying to get them and take them away and kidnap them, what would you do? You would feel very different, wouldn't you? You would have this instant energy because your brain would have shifted state and you would have entered into this protector mindset. So when we're talking about mind and body being in harmony and in balance, it's with intention. We continue to say that this harmony can lead to a state where individuals feel more in control of their physical energy and capacity, and sometimes leading to exceptional skill and performance. It's also what we talk about when athletes get into flow state.
Yeah, like the gymnast.
The gymnast, or they're in the zone and they access this capacity that they normally wouldn't have.
Yeah.
The brain and body are in complete harmony. We can do this on a regular basis.
And we've talked about this before. There's this one spiritual teacher that used to speak a lot about athletes, like why they would ask the runner, why do you love to run? Why do you run so many marathons? And the runner would say, I like to use the energy. It's good for my health. Oh, it gets me out of a funk. And he would keep drilling down. And then it was, I like what happens to me. Like I forget that I'm running and I tap into something. And that's what we're addicted to. Like with that gymnast, there's something she experiences. She's experiencing the power of the chi when she's doing gymnastics. Or an artist, when an artist is painting and they're so in flow, it isn't about the painting that they're in love with. It's what they're feeling. They're lost in that experience of creativity. They are creativity. They are that powerful chi energy. So any like interest that we have is probably an area where we're tapping into letting go of all the resistance, letting go of everything else, and just letting that chi flow in one direction. And it's thrilling and it's calming. It's powerful, but it's fun.
There's a spiritual teacher, some of you may have heard of him. His name was Sri Chinmoy. And he also could channel the energy, the chi, they would call it in India prana. And he would lift these ridiculous weights.
That's him?
That's Sri Chinmoy. Lifting, I don't remember what the record was, but it was insane. There you go, 740 pounds on that one.
Oh
These
gosh.
are 200. I don't know exactly what he's doing with these weights, but he's rolling them with his arms. Yeah, so he had this ability to channel the chi or the prana, and they're on racks, but I mean, you can Google him, Sri Chinmoy, and see him lifting these ridiculous amounts of weights.
And probably for fun and for the thrill of it.
Our friend Peter Ragnar. Mm-hmm. Think about him doing all those crazy amounts of weights and squatting.
All right, the third thing we can do is prepare and train. Regular practices of these skills that we're talking about train the body and mind to respond more effectively. So the more we practice, the more we train, the more normalized things become when things are a little bit out of habit. Like the first time we do something, it's awkward. So when we do things consistently, so preparation can be the difference between being ordinary or extraordinary when faced with a challenge. I see that in all ways. Let's say that you haven't been good in standing up for yourself, that you've been somebody who has a belief system that it's okay to be treated poorly, and you've really been working on it, and you're like, okay, the next time that person puts me down and bullies me, I'm not going to freak out. I'm going to speak my truth. And I'm just going to say, you have the right to your opinion, but it doesn't feel good hearing that. And that first time that you kind of stand up for yourself will feel so awkward. And then the next time, less awkward. And then it'll just so happen that you don't even think you're standing up for yourself anymore. You're just speaking the truth.
Being yourself.
Yes, so that's why these preparing and training, like maybe when you first start doing Qigong or some of the more athletic things that we do, Qigong Strong or a fitness fusion, you feel silly, you feel awkward. You're like, my body doesn't move all those parts at once. And then the next time it's like, okay. And then you do it again and again. And then you're like, piece of cake, bring it on, Trisbrina, show me something else. Right? So the more you train, the more normalized things become, so that when a situation comes up that requires those skills, you're like, oh, I got this.
I remember in a contrasting way when the body felt weak. Sorry. I do need to get this little thing fixed. It pitter-patters. It pitter-patters when I was looking for pictures for you guys. But I was just thinking about when this is a relative perspective. When my body's energy was blocked in my back because I had this amazing, so talking about incredible things. Mm-hmm. We're talking about not me. We're talking about we're talking about not being able to walk for almost 5 years, being in crippling pain a long time, and what that does to your mind and what that does to your body. So over time, when the energy's pinched off, it gets trapped. So when you're younger, you kind of have more access to this energy more naturally. The channels are naturally open. There's not as much stress from the brain pinching off the flow. There haven't been perhaps injuries, wear and tear. So the life force is flowing quite well through the body. Now when the body gets compromised, or through lack of movement from being more sedentary, or thoughts, oh, I'm getting older, I can't do that now, or I have this injury, then the chi stops flowing even more.
And when you have an injury and then you start working around it, you forget that you were working around it, and that becomes the
And
new
all of a
norm.
sudden, your body adapts. Your body's incredibly adaptable. There's a principle called SED, specific adaptation to an imposed demand. So if you keep demanding that your body is weak, keep believing that you're getting older, keep believing that these things that we've showed you
That
today,
your brain doesn't work,
you may have looked
whatever
at
it
some of
is.
the things that we showed you today and go, hey, yeah, that's a cool trick.
Fable.
Or that's a fable, or like well, that only happens when you're under, like extreme conditions. But what we're showing you is, no, that's not true. Like, we're giving you perspective on, like, the body has this capacity to do these things. These people have learned how to cultivate that energy and do something with it. And then I found out that, yes, if I could use my mind and body and get it in harmony and use Qigong, because that's exactly what I was doing, I could bring my body back to life. So, like, I'll lift up a weight here for you guys. It's not that big. It's not like Sri Chinmoy had like 1,000,000 pounds. But this is I don't know, it's 45 pounds. Okay, so it's a pretty big weight. I couldn't do this when my back was hurt. And I could sit here and do, I don't know, maybe 100, something like that. But that's not just from mind. That's from mind with the chi, the energy, and then the belief that the body can do that.
Yeah.
It can be cultivated. So these are cool stories,
Yep.
but what are you going to do with it?
Yep.
How's it going to help you?
So
Well, we have an idea.
so far we've
Oh, we
said,
only covered two.
enhanced your physical capabilities, practice mind-body harmony, prepare and train, and the fourth is adrenaline management. So do practices,
And cortisol.
that help manage the body's response to adrenaline, because by staying
stress.
calm and focused, you can better harness a burst of energy. So I remember when I was doing ballroom competitions, and there was the ballroom floor, and then the outskirts of it were carpet, and they put up those velvet ropes, and the couples would stand in line with the numbers on their back, and you're waiting to go out. And so many people were like jumping up and down, doing all these things. And I kind of would go off by myself, and I was just like, I want to slow everything down. I want to get everything calm. Because I knew that if I got up ahead of time and I stepped on the floor and I got nervous, or I had this excitement, this performance excitement, or competition excitement, or just thrill, that I wouldn't be able to focus the energy. I wouldn't be able to be like stand on my dime. And so by doing practices that let you stay calm and focused, you can better harness a burst of energy and the strength that adrenaline provides. So if there was, well, let's even say an emergency situation or an intense situation that you really needed to focus on, you are going to be much better responding if you know how to nurture and calm that energy, if you're living in a calmer place. Otherwise, we're going to react, and we don't make great decisions when we react.
I've just asked you in the chat, live or replay, I guess if you're watching us on the socials, what are your thoughts or takeaways from the show tonight? Like, how can you take this time that you've spent with us and use it to your advantage? How will it change the way that you show up for the energy that's available to you? I got on a pretty strong rant the other day about how much energy is available to us that we're just simply not taking advantage of. It's almost like you have this treasure and it's sitting there available to you, and you're just looking at it going, I don't know.
That old treasure.
That old treasure. Or it's right in front of you and you can't see it. You're like, I don't see any treasure.
Yeah.
So I know that everybody loves energy. You can go to the corner of like almost every street and find a Starbucks. Why? Because people, or a coffee shop, they're looking for energy. Everybody wants more energy. I need more pep in my step. I need more juice. I need more drive.
Look at those monster drinks and Red Bulls and all of that stuff people are drinking to try to hype themselves up.
But this energy...
Those are not good, just so you know.
This energy is available. That's what we're going to be driving this point home for a while. The energy is available. You just have to learn how to access it. And when you do, you can do some incredible things with the energy for your body. And one of the things that we're big on is making sure that as you age gracefully, that you stay strong so that your body doesn't get injured, so you don't fall down, so that your muscles don't deteriorate, so that your bones don't deteriorate, so you can be in a strong, healthy, vibrant body, like the ladies that we showed you, the yoga instructor, the gymnast.
Well, and muscle being strong is how we survive. It's how we survive everything. We cannot lose our strength and keep going. Like for some reason, and I hope this is shifting in society, people become less active as they get older. Now, when we're younger, the body is growing taller, right? The brain is still developing. There's all these things that are happening. And then once we hit like 30, 35, we start losing muscle mass, and the energy that we put in our body in the form of food and fuel, the purpose of it changes. It's no longer to make us grow, it's to make us strong. So being more active as we get older would seem to be the smart thing to do. To, yes, do resistance training, to, yes, do things that keep us mobile and flexible, yes, to do walking, yes, absolutely to do squats. This one doctor was saying she hopes in the future when somebody goes to the doctor, they're not so focused on obesity and not so focused on what's your body fat percentage, but it's like, what's your muscle mass percentage, and let me see you squat. Because it is such an indicator of our health and how much we've been moving. And it's almost an indicator of how long you will survive. It certainly would be if we were just like back to the animal kingdom, right? Once you can't run, once you can't pick the food, once you can't participate, you don't survive.
Look, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures of our dear friend Peter, who we created a program years ago called Qigong Strong, because I'm sorry.
Good morning, good evening, Qigong.
Thank you. And he does Qigong every day. Now, this is a picture of Peter probably in his early 70s, maybe late 60s. I don't know if you can see on the image there. This is 2,020 pounds, okay? And I've seen him squat this. 2,020 pounds. Leg press, reverse squat, all these weights are connected to this glider going up and down. You can, there's a video obviously somewhere online where you can probably watch him doing it. But he was always into building muscle.
And he always talked about, I do it through Qi.
And a lot of people were, that's in his late 70s, I'm sure. That was at the new home that we helped in the fitness studio.
Mid-70s.
So why was he so into muscle? Because he knew it was that organ of longevity. If you lose muscle, if you let sarcopenia kick your butt, age-related muscle loss, you're going to lose bone density. You're going to fall more frequently.
You're going to lose balance.
It's going to affect your brain. Like, we need to stay vital and strong. So we're on a kick right now to marry the beauty of Qigong with the beauty of strength training and marry them together, because they're the things that we love the most, with meditation. And we married it together into something we call Qigong Strong. And we have a workshop coming up, a 2-day immersion, June 22nd and 23rd. And so we're going to encourage you all to attend. Even if you can't do all the things we're going to show you, you're going to get all these routines, and you're going to be able to do a lot of them. And over time, you're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Just like when I couldn't lift those weights, and you're going to age, you're going to sage. We're going to sage together with Qigong Strong.
And if you're in a time zone or you have a conflict where you can't attend live on June 22nd and 23rd, the people who register will have forever access to the replays. And then we're going to edit out a lot of daily routines for you to do. And all of them will be like under 10 minutes.
We'll edit them into routines. When you say out, we'll put them in. We're not going to take them out.
No, we're going to take them out of the whole days and make it easy for you to find them. And what we want to do is target different things like really hone in on balance, really hone in on flexibility, really hone in on getting rooted and really get leg strength, really hone in on shoulder flexibility, arm strength, like all of the different ways that we need to be strong, and then how to flow with it. Also how to flow with it. So if this is, it's not going to be an exercise program, right? So
it's like, going to be very different.
Like, as much as I love to move, like that's not my word, exercise. I like movement and flowing. And one of the reasons I love Qigong is it's very dance-like and fluid and circular. We're also going to do some isometric contractions, which are really great for building strength. And the only thing you need to participate is 2 little handheld weights, like 2 pounds, 3 pounds.
Not much. Something like this.
Yes, and get pink ones. These are 2.
We're showing you people doing these extreme things, but what about the monk who was just sitting and breathing?
Or the gymnast.
It doesn't have to be extreme. It just has to be able to. It has to be able to use your intention.
Okay, they're saying, when do we sign up? When do we sign up? So here's what's going to happen. Where, we got to you have to make pages and stuff like that and techie stuff for you guys to be able to register. You'll get an inbox, and I will make sure that the subject line is register today, because only the people in our community are going to get a super early bird invitation that is way over 50% off, and that lasts for 3 days. So we will shout it out to you. We'll tell you in the Trisbrina Show. This is, I think, and maybe it's like ballroom dance. Everybody's like, what's your favorite dance? It's like the one I'm doing. But this is my favorite thing as far as physical movement that we've ever offered. I love the Life Force Ninja course because mindset is
everything.
I love everything. But as far as movement, this is what I'm like, I want to do this because I feel really good, but I also like looking good. And I like being able to wear a tank top and show my arms and get my butt up off my leg so I don't have a bleg. All of that is just this extra bonus that Qigong Strong
extra benefit
gives us.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining tonight. We appreciate you shifting the schedule with us.
If you're not on the email list, I see some people asking in the chat, then send us an email, Satori, Satori, at SatoriMethod.com, and say, hey, man, I want to get your emails, and we'll make sure you get on that list.
All right. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday and a great weekend. Thanks for joining us. Much love. Stay strong.